Followers of Sharia believe Muhammad received a divine legal code that stands supreme over all man-made laws. While Western civilization has evolved, Islam has not.
Is there a threat of Sharia law in America? Take a look at this clip over here with Keith Self, a representative from Texas, talking about this very topic. So we'll watch what he has to say and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Mr. Speaker, Islam is a culture with patina of religion. Sharia is the law of Islam. Sharia is dangerous. Western values form the basis for the founding of America, namely that rights come from our Creator. Ours is a Christian-based culture. Sharia, on the other hand, is a culture of violence and domination, totally anathema to the concept of individual freedom. The United States Constitution and Sharia are fundamentally at odds with one another. The Constitution begins with "we the people." Sharia states Allah has said. Followers of Sharia believe Muhammad received a divine legal code that stands supreme over all man-made laws. While Western civilization has evolved, Islam has not. Islam is stuck in the 8th century, and if they succeed at imposing their beliefs upon us, we will be dragged back into the Dark Ages. The contrasts are stark when comparing Sharia to the strides made by the United States in 250 years. The 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolished slavery, but there has never been an abolition movement in Islam. The Quran and Hadith even contain rules for slaves and the slave trade. Sharia prescribes inhumane punishments viewed as normative. Stoning to death for adultery is common, as are public beatings of women, the amputation of the hand of a thief, and execution of Christians and Jews in accordance with the Quran. Several hardline clerics have even issued fatwas for the assassination of President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. The Declaration of Independence states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." Not so in Islam. According to Sharia, the testimony of a non-Muslim is not valid against a Muslim in a court of law. A woman's testimony is equal to 1/2 of that of a man. Non-Muslims living in majority Islamic societies are second-class citizens with few rights and little protection under the law. The 6th Amendment speaks of an impartial jury, but the testimony of a non-Muslim is deemed inadmissible. So in an Islamic Sharia court, the only testimony allowed is that of a Muslim, hardly fair and impartial. Sharia prohibits marriage between a Muslim woman and a non-Muslim man. A Muslim man may marry a Christian wife, but not vice versa. Sharia also gives the man, but not the woman, the unconditional right to divorce. Freedom of religion is in our First Amendment, but freedom of religion in Sharia means one is permitted to embrace Islam, but one is never free to leave Islam. Abandoning Sharia is an apostasy punishable by death. Freedom of speech in America extends to expression not only of verbal communication, but in art, writing, the media, and action. Certain forms of expression are forbidden by Sharia. Non-Muslims and moderate Muslims who openly criticize Islam, Muhammad, or the Quran face severe punishment. Remember Salman Rushdie, who was stabbed under a fatwa just for writing about Muhammad. America was founded on a basic concept of freedom of the individual, self-governing under the rule of law. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." We are witnessing the reality of Adams' wisdom in the clash of cultures as outsiders stream into our country without assimilating. A prominent Muslim attorney argued in the U.S. court, "Islam is Sharia, Sharia is Islam. The two cannot be separated." There are acceptable actions in Sharia that are illegal in America. Murder of family members who dishonor the family, child marriage, spouse abuse, to name only a few. Our legal processes, developed through centuries of Western civilization, are not sufficient to confront the Sharia influence spreading across America. Even legislation may not stop the encroaching danger. It will take more. In the streets of New York City, a Muslim imam recently proclaimed, "We will not stop until Islam enters every home." There is no denying Islam's intent to dominate Western civilization. Their stated objective is to destroy us from within. All who serve in this Congress swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is a time for choosing. Either we defeat the Sharia advances in America, or government of the people, by the people, and for the people may indeed perish from the earth. I yield back.
Okay, listen. So Congressman Keith Self just dropped the warning that people are either going to ignore or it's going to be a wake-up call that America so desperately needs. And whether you agree with him or not, here's the part that nobody's talking about. He's not talking about your Muslim neighbor. He's not talking about people practicing their faith. He's talking about something very specific. He's talking about the political ideology of Sharia governance, the idea that religious law can override constitutional law. And so that's the concern over here. It's not what religion people are practicing in the privacy of their home. The concern is about a political ideology of Sharia governance. And if we're going to have an honest conversation about it, we have to separate religion from political supremacy. These are not the same things that are being discussed. And guess what? America's actually dealt with this before. Every generation, in fact, whether it was communism in the 1950s, radical anarchists in the 1910s, extremist cults trying to build little pseudo-small communities in the 1990s. America always has groups that want to test the boundaries of the Constitution. The difference now is the speed in which things spread. With the internet implements and amplifies fringe ideologies 1,000 times what they used to be. And so here's the real point that Congressman Self is making. The Constitution has to always remain the top authority in the United States. That's not anti-religion, that's the exact principle that protects religion. It's the constitutional rights of religion that protects religion. It's what guarantees Jews can be Jews, and Christians can be Christians, and Muslims can be Muslims, and atheists can be atheists, without any group imposing its law on its others, on anybody else. And so in Torah thought, when you remove a shared moral foundation, chaos is what fills the vacuum. Societies don't collapse from one big event. They collapse inch by inch, and when they stop believing in anything larger than themselves. America needs moral clarity again. We need to get back to our Constitution. We need to get back to our Hebrew Bible values that undergird this country. Not fear, not hysteria, moral clarity. And so here's the takeaway. Instead of panicking, we have to strengthen the Constitution. We have to strengthen our communities. We have to strengthen our values. Freedom survives when good people stay awake, not woke, not scared, awake. So stay informed, stay grounded, and stand for a country where laws protect faith and faith elevates the law. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.